Okay, let's do some yoga. To begin with, get yourself in a comfortable position, cross-legged. Let's take a simple mudra with our index finger and our thumb, just connecting, making a nice circle with that connection, and then turning the palms upwards to rest on your knees in a receptive position. Receptive, you're prepared to receive. You're going to lift up through the trunk of the body, make yourself nice and upright. Your head and shoulders centrally over your hips. Begin to relax in the groins, in the hips, in the legs. Breathe in and connect with your breathing apparatus, your lungs, your heart, your diaphragm, your rib cage, your nostrils, your neck and throat. Take a lovely deep breath in and be aware of your lungs filling from bottom to top. And then release that breath slowly, consciously and fully. So we're going to start by doing what is known as bound cobbler position, which is going to help us to loosen in our hips and groins and develop some extra flexibility and stretch within our hamstrings and all thigh muscles. Link your fingers, draw them around your toes. You can have the heels of the feet slightly away from your perineum. You can have the heels of your feet slightly away from your perineum, or you can have them as close in as feels comfortable, whatever's right for you. Keeping a nice upright torso, scanning the body, checking around the face that the teeth are unclenched and the skin is soft. And then let's do the butterfly, where we gently begin to flicker the knees up and down. Tuning in with your flow of breath. Unclenching the teeth, allowing the tongue in the mouth to be relaxed. It will swell in the mouth and touch on the teeth as you let go. You'll unfurrow your brow. Just release any tension from around the head, the face, the neck, the throat. Allow the shoulders to relax downwards and just have that gentle flickering in the hips and the groins. You've got groins at the front of the legs and you've got groins at the back. The groins at the front, at the crease of the upper leg with the pubis, pelvic area, and the back groins at the crease of the buttocks. So relax in that area, flicker up and down, and then return to a central position. Release the hands now, and you're going to bring your left forearm and elbow to press down on your left inner thigh, inner calf muscle, and just roll yourself onto your left side so that you bring that leg as far down towards the connection with the earth, the ground beneath you, as you can. Take a breath in and create space through the trunk of your body, and then exhale, just gently turning to look at your right leg and allowing it to drop down, to drop out. You can again hold on to the toes if you need to. As you're looking at the leg that's dropping down to the ground, you could perhaps roll the flesh of the inner thigh outwards. So it's actually going anti-clockwise, rolling it outwards. and maybe take the flesh of the calf muscle, rolling that in the opposite direction. And when you look at the leg, do that by way of thought process it into the flesh around the leg as well. Tell both parts to turn outward. You can actually see it happening. You can see your flesh moving as you bring that leg down. And then breathe in, come up to the central position, and then with your right forearm, press it down onto the right inner leg. Nice and gently though, remember, no force necessary. It's about being kind and gentle to your body. It's an exploration. So once you've got some of your upper body weight pressing down into that right inner thigh, you can turn and look at your left leg and knee and gently lower it down. Again, you can hold the toes if you want to. You can look at the leg. You can pull the flesh outwards. Create some space. Just do it gently and over time. You don't have to achieve everything all at once. And then breathe in, come back to a central position. Exhale and surrender into that new space that you have made. Okay, and gently release. So now let's just bring the feet to cross. So you're into Sukhasana, easy posture, happy posture, otherwise known as cross-legged. We're going to take our hands, both hands, just beside our respective hips. We're going to breathe in, lift up, create space internally and externally. So internally you'll be thinking of pulling pubis to navel, navel to breastbone, breastbone to brow, brow to the crown of the head, and it's almost like you've got a silk thread connected to the crown of your head, and it's lifting you upwards. On an exhalation, open out across the front of the chest by bringing the shoulder blades towards each other. On the next breath in, begin to raise the chin upwards, slowly dropping the head and neck back, your eyes looking up to the ceiling. Remember to keep your weight equally placed into both sitting bones. Relax down into the buttocks, soften in the groins and the hips. Breathe. And then return to a central position. So we're going to go straight on and do the set of three that we practiced yesterday, as in being the locust, the cobra and the wheel. Salambasana, Bhujangasana and Dhanurasana. So these are all positions that are going to deal with gaining greater flexibility in your spine, in your spinal cord. You have 33 bones in your spinal cord. Some of us have 34. All depends on how many there are going on in the coccygeal region. But if you think you've got the base of your spine, the coccygeal region and the sacrum, flat fused bones together, you've then above that got your lumbar dorsal part of the spine, which then moves into the 12 bones of the thoracic spine. They are connected to your rib cage. And then above that, you've got the bones of the cervical spine, which is leading up to the neck. And at the very top are the atlas and the atlas and the axis, and they are connected pivotal to the skull. So if you think of these bones whilst you are breathing, you'll be able to lift and create space within them, especially all vertebrae of the spine, because in between the vertebrae of the spine, you've got intervertebral discs. Now, if you can create space and get some oxygen in there, and you get your little intervertebral discs getting some freedom, this all progresses towards greater flexibility and suppleness of the spine. Remembering to not to allow your spine to do all the work. You have muscles and flesh around the spinal cord that can assist. Okay, so let's take ourselves round onto our mats, onto our stomachs, into what's known as a prone position. So laying flat on your tummy is a prone position. Let's bring both legs together. Let's bring the heels of the feet to touch and the big toes to touch if you can. So you are identifying with making both legs become one. So you're going to take a breath in and stretch yourself forward as you lower fully into a prone position and get your chin onto the mat. Bring your arms alongside you. The palms of the hands facing up to the ceiling. Breathe in and out a couple of times to find yourself in the foundation of the position. You're then going to breathe in and raise the arms upwards. Keep them in line with the sides of the body. They don't need to be too high. They don't need to be touching the floor. They are running alongside the trunk of your body and your hips. Breathe in, lift the chin away from the mat to as far as it feels comfortable. Exhale. Breathe in. Now raise the toes away from the mat. Press down into your sacrum. So your sacrum is at the base of the spine here. Press that down. Press through the thoracic spine. Get some compression at the front. You can feel your belly connected with the mat. Get your shoulders away from your ears. Be aware of you tensing up and pulling your shoulders up by your ears. Stretch back down through to the fingertips. Almost as if you're trying to point your fingertips and reach them down towards your toes. Keep the breath flowing. Unclench the teeth. Avoid taking the head up too high. You don't want to be crunching the bones in the upper neck. So maybe just look 6 inches in front of you. Keep your gaze there. And then exhale and gently lower down. Bring the chin to the mat. Relax and let go of the shoulders. Breathe in. And a nice long breath out. And be aware as you're breathing in when you're connected with the mat in a prone position, you can feel the compression of the earth against your chest. So you may feel impeded with being able to take a deep breath in to inflate your lungs. However, if you think about your upper back here, connect with it. And as you breathe in, open the back rib cage. Feel it rise up, feel it open out to the sides, and be aware that the lungs are still able to take in a great quantity of air. Let's bring our hands round now. So that was Salambasana that we just practiced there, the locust. Now we're going to Bhujangasana, the cobra. You're going to bring your hands beside your chest and your fingertips align just beneath your respective shoulders, left and right shoulder. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. So be aware again, if they're pulling right up here, just take a breath in and as you exhale, drop them away from the ears. Keep your shoulders, elbows and wrists on the same parallel line. Okay, so imagine that you've got 2 tracks running directly down the sides of your body and you're going to keep the alignment of your arms along those tracks. Your legs, both legs are still as one. So they've joined together, knees touching, heels of the feet touching, big toes touching. Breathe in and lift your shoulders and your chest away from the floor. You should be able to get to a comfortable position where you can take your hands away and you can breathe in and breathe out. You'll begin to feel possibly like a little bit of work going on in this lower back here, and as you begin to flex the spine up and back in Cobra, you'll be doing your kidneys a great benefit, for they're going to be getting squeezed as you rise up. Now, when they squeeze, they're going to actually push out all the blood. So if there's any waste byproducts that have grown stale in your kidneys, you're giving them a good massage, pushing out all the old, so that when you draw back down, so you exhale and lower back down, like a sponge, they'll spring back open. And if you take a nice couple of deep breaths in between, just rest your cheek on the mat, you'll get fresh, new, rich, oxygenated blood travelling into the kidneys. So it really is a good position for giving your kidneys some loving care. So let's do that. Let's go again with Bhujangasana, the cobra. Think about the animal you are imitating. So you could be taking a breath in whilst you're on your mat, and even slithering along to extend your length. Okay, breathe in. Press some weight into the palms of the hands. The fingers are nicely spread. The elbows close into the sides of your body. Only take the position to the point that's comfortable for you. You'll be able to rise up higher and higher with constant practice and with patience. You don't want to go too high too soon. You just take it to the point of comfort and you breathe there. If you can come up all the way, you can even take the chin up, the eyes up, drop the head back, breathe. Unclench the teeth, soften the skin on the face, and as you make your descent to an exhalation, take the energy from the base of the spine and push it all the way to the crown of your head. So you're actually elongating forward as you lower. And then cross your arms, rest your cheek, cross your arms, cross your hands, rest your cheek on your hands, and take a couple of breaths in and out that are going to pump that new oxygenated blood, especially into your kidneys. And now we'll go for Dhanurasana. We'll do each side individually. So first, let's put our right forearm and hand in front of us, and let's, our left forearm and hand in front of us, and bend our right knee. Bring your right hand round to connect with the right foot. And if it doesn't connect at first, think if you can give it a good stretch and swim the arm round. So you're creating space whilst moving in to the foundation of the position. Okay, avoid crunching those bones of the cervical spine or the atlas and the axis at the top of the neck. So just have a soft gaze downward. Breathe in and begin to draw the knee and the thigh of the right leg away from the mat. You're almost getting that feeling of kicking your right foot away from your right hand, although keeping that connection so you can have that push and pull of energies. And then gently lower. And we'll go on to the other side. So now, right forearm in front of you, bend your left knee, take a nice deep inhalation in through the nostrils, stretch the left arm forward, swim it round to bring it to connect with the foot, with the left foot. And then your next breath in, you draw the thigh away from the mat. Again, always observing the fact That when you breathe in, you can create space, and when you breathe out, you surrender into that space. And then we'll gently lower that leg down. Okay, so that's each individual side of Dhanurasana, the bow posture. Now we'll do both together, okay? If you feel like you want to keep practicing individually on both sides, then keep doing that. If you follow your breath and you pay attention and you tune in, your body will let your mind know when it's ready to progress. So have your point of chin on the floor, both knees bent, both hands capturing front of feet. A couple of rounds of breathing here to find yourself settled into the foundation of the position. And then you breathe in, pick the chest away from the floor like you did in Cobra and the Locust. Pick it up, draw your thighs away from the mat. Avoid crunching down in the neck. Unclench your teeth. Breathe. And gently you'll release and lower down. Cross the arms, the hands, rest the cheek, soften across the upper back. Breathe in and breathe out. And then bring your hands beside your shoulders. Take a breath in to push yourself onto hands and knees, and then very gently you're going to draw your buttocks down towards the heels of your feet. You'll bring the forehead to the mat, a counter stretch for the spine here. Bring your hands round so the fingers move in the same direction as the toes. Let go across your upper back. Release any tension you might have, and this can especially be let go of through your outbound breath. Unclench your teeth. Breathe in through the nostrils. Pose of a child. A nice release for those muscles, especially around the lower back. Then let's bring our hands beside us, and we will slowly roll the spine up, stacking those vertebrae of the spine one at a time, pulling the stomach in to lend as support. Your chin is on the chest. Once your shoulders are above your hips, you can then bring the chin up to rest parallel with the ground. Okay, so we find ourselves in a kneeling position now, and we're going to go once again into the simulated headstand. So if we just turn our fingers over next to our hips, you've got the trunk of your body like a column. It's straight, it's upright. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, just open out across the front of the chest. Take your shoulders back, draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Breathe out and surrender into your position. You're not collapsing, you're surrendering, you're just softening a little. Now breathe in and think about creating space at the hips. So you're picking the flesh up around the hips, lifting everything up so that you can then hinge forward, bringing the forehead back to the mat in front of you, and then gently raising the buttocks, rolling onto the crown of your head. However, being aware that you are not collapsing your body weight into the crown of your head. It's almost like you could get a bus ticket between the crown of your head and the mat. So you're actually pulling away from the mat a little bit, and you're doing this by utilising
the muscles of your stomach, your abdominals. You're bringing them, pulling them back to hold on to the spine. You're giving it support. You're taking some weight through the thighs and the knees. Simulated headstand. Very good for bringing a fresh rush of blood to the brain, to the head. It's good for the hair follicles and cells, and the cells of the skin on the face. And then again, pulling the tummy in, slowly lowering the buttocks down, the chin on the chest, restacking the bones of the spine until your shoulders become above the hips, and then you can bring the head up. You always come out of the headstand nice and slowly because of the fact that whilst you're inverted and you've got this rush of blood coming to the head, it's extra oxygen is going there, and sometimes if you have too much oxygen go to the head at one time, you can get a little bit lightheaded. So to avoid that, you just allow the shifts of the oxygen and the energy to happen nice and slowly, and then everything can settle. So next stage of the headstand we are progressing towards is the nice foundation of having the hands spread wide. They're going to go down onto the mat about shoulder width apart, just slightly wider than the hips in front of you. You want to make that triangle on the mat between the two palms of hands and the crown of the head. Okay, nice deep breath in. As you exhale, bring the weight of the body forward, bring the crown of the head to the mat. Have your elbows over your wrists, and you may need to adjust here. You might like to turn your fingers out a bit if you have any wrist injuries. Use the hands, turn them to adapt and adjust to make it comfortable for you. Nice deep inhalation, and if you feel that you can, just bring those knees off of the ground. The toes are curled under. Remember to pull your tummy in, support your spine. If you're collapsing down in the abdominals, then that's a heavy weight that's going to be dropping downward and will make you feel a little bit less secure. If you feel you can straighten those legs, then do so. Get used to the breath here. And then nice and gently bring those knees down, turn the toes under, and slowly and gracefully with your movement, bring yourself back into an upright kneeling position, and then we can come back round cross-legged. Resting the hands onto the knees, lifting up through the trunk, the torso, lifting internally and externally. So think about the flesh on the trunk of your body, engage and awaken it. Have it lifting upright, have the torso nice and compact, the stomach pulling in towards the base of the spine, the shoulders relaxed and soft away from the ears, the chin parallel with the floor. Close the eyes and tune in. Tune into your flow of breath. See if you can lengthen your inhalation, and then observe yourself taking a longer breath out. Unclench your teeth, allow the tongue to relax in the mouth. The tongue will swell in the mouth and touch on the teeth as it relaxes.
Be aware how you feel both internally and externally. When you breathe in, you can still retain that sense of elevation. And as you breathe out, you can observe and experience the feeling of release. And combined, these two opposing energies can bring a full state of balance, equilibrium, and peace. So enjoy the rest of your day and make the most of this space in time that we are all being given.